Welcome back for our final series of the night. We've had two that's gone the distance, 3 games apiece. We might find ourselves in the same situation as we have two team-fighting monsters, Rogue Warriors versus Edward Gaming. I'm still here with Clement Chu. How you doing? My name is Rez. And Clement, how you feeling?
Are you ready for 10 games in the 3BO3 day? Oh, man, I didn't even think it was possible, man. Here we are. 10 hours on the broadcast. Thanks to all of you for staying on with us if it actually reached 10.
And so we finally come into this one. It is going to be about EDG versus Rogue Warriors. And for both teams, they found themselves victories off of team fighting. And I want to little zone in on EDG's success because that's a big surprise here where they're coming in much stronger and stronger, and it's pretty much been a discussion piece of people's roles, people's positions on that team.
Yeah, really coming in with the new changes on the team was Hart is now the coach. RNG was a team fight focused team, and we see that trait bleeding over for EDG. EDG, they have a lot of carries, but they were never known as one of the top team fighting teams, and a big reason was because their carries like to play forward. iBoy, always in the midst of things. Also, Scout is an assassin-based player as well.
And so what we're seeing here, too, to be able to support what is iBoy's position is more so a question of Ray's role, right?
Yeah.
Because tanks is something that's far more successful for him. But you know Ray's identity coming into this is that he is the carry player. So while he is great on carries, hasn't been faring too well for them early on in the split.
Yeah, it definitely is a situation where EDG, they were trying to ramp up for internationals, get that champion pool in, but then find them in a situation where domestically, they're actually outside of the playoff 8 spot. So they're like, you know, we have to go back to something that is actually tried and true. They are putting Ray mostly on the tanks and just making sure that EDG have that carry, have that team fight potential to go towards.
Yeah. Not only that, bringing in a calmer, cooler mind if you look towards what they have there in the second series of the split for a new jungler. Well, I guess he's an old one. You know, Clearlove is back on the map. The Skarner play, we got to see him last time, but we're going to be looking at Rogue Warriors. Jiangqiao back in the top lane. Xuzhu for the jungle. Kongming. ZWuji, that always gets me. And then Killua coming in the support position.
So they are bringing on their secondary unit over on Rogue Warriors end. We'll talk about them later. But the big one for EDG, Clearlove back in the starting roster.
Yeah, Ray in the top lane, Clearlove right there. And we don't even have to say the bottom side of the map, but we'll do it. Scout, iBoy, and we have support Meiko as well.
Now, this team has really been killing it so far, EDG. I like Clearlove back on the roster. It gives them so much more focus. They've also spoken about Clearlove in the post-game interviews, that he just directs the team. They're comfortable with him at the helm, leading all of the calls. It's something they sorely needed.
It's been an issue, a consistent one that rears its head. Early games for this team has been fine, and then it always comes down to direction, lacking direction. Do we want to put focus top side? No, we want to actually move towards the bottom side of the map because people just kept dying early on in the game. That seems been resolved, at least in terms of recency when they went up against Winning Gaming.
The thing about Edward Gaming and their recent changes is, how does this impact them in the playoffs at internationals? I think that's a big question. Sure, if they go back to their old play style, I'm pretty confident they're going to make playoffs, but it might bite them future on. Clearlove, the number one question we have to pay attention to is, can he actually expand his champion pool? He's been playing a very select few champions, and for Ray, even though he's better on the tanks, has he completely lost touch with his carry side as well?
Taking a look at it, both coaches on the field, and we're in pick and ban. Lucian banned out alongside the Jiangqiao. There we go for EDG. And if you look towards Rogue Warriors, Thresh, Zoe, and Akali bound out by them as well.
Yeah, interesting draft phase coming out. Rogue Warriors definitely saying that the #1 threat coming out from EDG is going to be the mid laner. And I have to agree with them. I think Scout currently is probably the best performing member of the team. He's doing great work on Assassins.
Locks it in instantly. You talked about him being the best player there. Must have seen Knight's play on the LeBlanc. Locks it in immediately. And now it's a big test to Kongming coming back into the lineup, because we've seen a little bit more of Huatian as of late.
Yeah.
But now Kongming coming back in, primarily playing Lissandra, but won't have access to that champion here.
We haven't seen a lot of the potential for these new players for Rogue Warriors And this is a very common draft strategy coming out from EDG. You take the LeBlanc, the only counters is typically the mages with lower mobility, Ryze, and Syndra for the like. All those champions are quite afraid of the Jarvan, so you just knock in the 1-2 punch, make sure you can get Scout ahead.
The other champions he's played is technically the last time Kongming has played. He's played the LeBlanc, but since then it's been mostly the Galio and the Lissandra. And so we should be able to see a new champion coming out of him, unless in fact Galio is going to the mid lane. But it's been primarily the support with the damage nerfs that's come through. Urgot's to pick up here with the Gragas. Gragas, Urgot, and Galio on the side of Rogue Warriors. And EDG has themselves the LeBlanc Jarvan and what could be, but it shouldn't be, a Yasuo.
Are they actually going to do it? We can see Steak, you know.
He's playing with him. He's just
looking
playing
confused.
with him. iBoy is not the type to go into an awesome dude champion. He is the type of person to go towards an AD carry, even if the Kai'Sa is not something he's looking to go towards. Will lock in that Ezreal.
One could only dream, but EDG, like you're talking about, putting all the focus in towards the mid side. Ezreal is safe bot lane, not something we want to think about. EDG this split, one of their I would say their biggest problems is that they're no longer consistently winning the bot side. If you look at their laning stats, it's a very long, it's a very short amount of gold leads that they're getting compared to their previous splits. So they are having to rely more on Scout for the early game.
Yeah, and just focusing more often to the bottom side of the map as of late. Clearlove being able to bring in that clear leadership is something you need to see, as the Morgana gets banned away by Rogue Warriors and Kai'Sa stricken off the map here by EDG. It is a bot lane focus in this series in general. Whenever you go up against Rogue Warriors, you know you're going up against ZWuji, first person to pick up the pentakill in the LPL. He has done so much for his team, and being able to take away that major threat, even the way the Kalista ban. ZWuji is going to be looking for a new pick.
Yeah, ZWuji is the face of this new Rogue Warriors squad. The top side can switch around players all the time, but ZWuji is always going to be playing in that marksman position. He's a Vayne player, started his career out as a Vayne streamer, in fact, has played in the LPL as well, but has also done great work on the Ezreal, the pentakill, the champion which he secured that with, and also the Kai'Sa has been a mainstay for him as well. We also see some Caitlyn earlier on in the split. So a person with a lot of diverse champions, but what unifies them all is that he does like to play on the hyper carries.
Able to pick up the Tahm Kench now. If you're ZWuji, you don't want to go too all in and engage. You may have the Galio, but a Tahm Kench is going to make it so iBoy is nice and safe. Here's the hover. They know that they got him, and he talked about him. 62% win ratio just for the Vayne pick alone. We've been seeing it a lot in the LPL, and the one-trick Vayne is ZWuji. He gets it.
I wonder if EDG are going to regret forcing ZWuji on his best champion. He's done some sick work with this already, and in fact, in the 1v1 chase down situation, it is a stronger champion than the Ezreal, so he finds that open lane for him to do work. He could wreak massive damage.
Could be a Vladimir pickup, as the Jayce has been locked in, likely for Kongming, but also an Urgot could swap that around. But we've seen what Vladimir could do this week in the LPL, and Ray can play it. So we had a discussion about Ray's role, and he's going to say, nah, I'm calling it audible. Heart, lock me in, the Vladimir. Technically can play as a tank, taking in as much damage with his sustain in team fights, but he needs to get to that point.
We've seen what Changhong did with that Vladimir against short-range AD carries, and Vayne is another one of them. This is a composition from EDG that's packed with nuking ability that can really lock down ZWuji. It's about how well ZWuji can actually play these team fights, how much disengage and room can the other members of the team really give him.
They've all been locked in now, just about to hit the 20-second mark. Bam. That is a Jayce top lane. So it's going to be Jayce into Vladimir. Great for the Jayce pick, but Jiangqiao has not been a strong laner. It has usually been Zhao Yun that's been holding up the carry top lane sphere. But this time around, Jiangqiao finally coming in back to the Rift. He's been tested in scrims perhaps. In solo queue, he's recognized that he's been getting smashed in lanes and now has picked up a proper laning phase. Maybe he gets the support.
It's amazing to see all these new top laners that are picking up the Jayce pick. We talked about the Jayce, unless your name is the Shy or Khan or someone of that caliber, Jayce probably isn't the pick for you. That isn't the case in the LPL anymore. A lot of these new youngsters really doing great things on the champion. Twyla, one of them that we just saw last series as well. Ala, another person that could potentially pick it up as well. And 369 even getting MVPs on the Jayce pick, even against RNG. So we're getting accustomed, we're getting almost spoiled to these carry picks in the top side.
Hell yes, that's what I love about the meta. The meta has made it so early game matters. You can't just stall it all the way out against the best of teams. And I love to see it when your carries are coming through. Rogue Warriors, giving yourself the Vayne on ZWuji, Jiangqiao on the Jayce. They're looking to go mano a mano within the laning phase against them.
It is a situation where Rogue Warriors actually have the better matchups in two of the lanes to start the game off. Can they actually outpressure EDG? What will Clearlove be able to do?
Doesn't matter where you go, what stadium you find yourself in. Now you calm down. Hey! EDG will win out in the chance.
They really are getting quite rowdy in the crowd. EDG and Clearlove. Clearlove a very divisive personality in the LPL.
Oh, looks like level 1's going to be coming across. Killua takes a bit of damage, but we'll answer that one back. Ward gets put down, but the minions are already on the field, so if there's no deep in bait to take red buff, EDG are going to have to bounce out of here.
A lot of extra gold being taken by iBoy right there. At least 2 procs from what I've seen, so it is a successful invade from EDG.
Ooh, are they going to sit here? They're going to be sitting on a ward, so there's no extra damage that's coming across, but iBoy is going to be able to net a Q unless if, yes, taking the long way around. Killua and ZWuji playing this one out smart. You are chugging out a potion, though, so Killua is going to be a potion down here. Clearlove going to be looking to just try and get the blue buff in the cross map.
Look at Clearlove with the Moses play right there. Splits 2 wards, goes into the blue, unspotted. Nobody really knows he's here yet, and Xuzhu is taking a sweet time in getting here.
Yeah, he probably doesn't know about it by now, but this is going to be a vertical jungling. If he tries to get his own blue, which is not a safe thing to do, then he's going to lose out on so much experience. So no, he's vertically jungling himself. I just wonder if he's going to be able to get that blue buff on the opposite side.
Now the question really is, where is Clearlove's pathing next? Does seem like he's going back.
Oof. That hurts, and it's only going to hurt more and more. I wonder if he's going to pick up something that really gives him that grievous wound in that matchup. Bullet knees to the face. Scout loses. He doesn't really lose out in the skirmish. He also has the same amount of corrupting potions now there as Urgot chugged that one. You could see now Jarvan's in the bot side of the map. He picked up the 2 camps top side. Now he's looking to see if there's anything to steal here. Take a look at it.
He's not letting this go.
So close. So close. He was able to just close enough to smite steal. No, wasn't going to happen. Xuzhu gets himself that blue buff.
We can see the Vayne matchup in work here. Not taking the fleet footwork, super offensive with his keystone masteries here. Actually just going for the press the attack. He will be able to do a lot of damage. This is a matchup where the Vayne can actually dodge out on a lot of the return coming in from Ezreal.
Yeah, and you can fight back. That's what's important there too. A lot of the poor matchups are ones with like Alistar or Thresh, anything that really has that point and click, flash flay, anything that really gets on top of you. But you can go front to back. The only thing you have to worry about is once you get into these larger team fights, LeBlanc and Vladimir's positioning. But Vladimir is being handled here in the top lane.
Jiangqiao just using his mana to get the most damage off. I think he will need to backswing. Actually, he's holding on to a lot of corrupting potions at this point. So he's actually fine in the sustain department.
The one who's not fine is Ray. All you have to worry about is if Xuzhu is going to find a dive opportunity top lane, which is why a ping's being played out there. Clearlove is in the area. He's going to be at least able to put down a ward. There's already one there for Jayce, so there's no way for Clearlove to gank even if he had the HP to do so.
But Xuzhu comes out of the The vertical jungle doing okay, even level with Clearlove, and he's going to have free reign on the top side. Ray's going to find it very difficult
here. Why are you going forward? You got to watch out there, because if you're in flash range of Jiangqiao, you don't want to find yourself on the opposite end of that one.
Ooh, and you have to remember, they just spotted out Clearlove backing. He's in no position to contest this. Ray's going to have to go back as well.
A lot of damage on iBoy. Just a lot of DPS flowing through from these side lanes of Rogue Warriors. So bot lane doing very well in terms of ZWuji's laning phase. Jiangqiao so well in the matchup, seeing a teleport early from Ray.
We have to remember, Rogue Warriors is the team that took down the super team in terms of Sunny. Just a bunch of rookies, great performances from ZWuji, but their team fight has been immaculate a lot of times.
Clearlove getting opened up on, but he should be able to find a way out, even putting down some return damage on Xuzhu. But a control ward has been placed out. They're going to be able to clear this one out.
Yep, Xuzhu at the right place at the right time. He's just going to zone out Clearlove from his own top side, make sure that Jayce matchup can make the most of it.
Thankfully, Ray has the Crimson Rush to fuel him back up. Always able to do it, but slowly kind of push away. That's what you have to worry about. The wave of control is not in your favor. It's going to be a bad time. Clearlove just checking up on Xuzhu. How you doing?
I love how Clearlove plays. Like, he's so accurate on estimating the enemy jungler position, and he just constantly is in your face. Really supporting Scout the best he can. Just look at the amount of warding that's happening on the map.
Oh, this one's always going to be harder here. But still out of range. And to your point, there are a few junglers that can play that style. Ning is one that reminds me of him the most, where it's more so... Now, Ning is a little bit more fast-paced. But it's the idea of, I know where Xuzhu is at all times. I've been able to call out, and it's possible to predict, yeah, this is going to be rough. But that gives my mid laner now the opportunity to just do whatever he wants in lane. Getting close to a 10 CS advantage. LeBlanc is doing quite well for himself, while top lane, Ray's having a rough one.
It definitely has been. The Biscuit also there for the Jayce, so he can continue to refill on his mana potion as manas.
It's a huge wave. Ordinarily, you would find a dive in this area, but Xuzhu's in the opposite side of the map. There should really be a call to get this top laner down, but I think they're just fine putting Jiangqiao in the weak side of the map, so he can put down the pressure alongside ZWuji.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a relatively quiet game. Like you were saying, Clearlove typically not the player to gank early. But what he does like to do is he likes to find those level 6 kills. The champions that he's shown the most success on in 2018 have been the likes of Gragas or Sejuani, where you have that big level 6 ultimate and you can secure kills alongside with Meiko in the bot lane. Yep. That's where he loves to go.
Yo, I find him as the greatest opportunist in the LPL. He is so good at being able to nail down who just got the best trades on the map. Now, ZWuji taking a lot of damage, and that might just be that best trade that I was referring to.
Yeah, tumbling a little too early, does not dodge out on the tongue lash and take some follow-up damage from iBoy as well.
For how well these lanes are going here for Clearlove in the mid lane and bottom lane. That trade back being so strong for iBoy, and he's able to match up in CS. You know, you might see a gank coming in through, but that's a double taunt. Great for Meiko to be able to save iBoy, return some damage onto Killua.
Instantly, pings going down from EDG's side. They think this is in kill range for Clearlove to come and pick up. He has a Cataclysm bottom side of the map as well. Frostcurrent was always talking about it. EDG, you know there's a team fight coming into the bot side. No matter what game, what scenario, you know it's coming. It's about how you react to it.
Like a Zubu Blaze in a sense, that one-trick warhorse. You know it's going to happen, whether you're good enough to stop it. Suddenly get vision on a Xuzhu. That's fun. It's another question. So right now, ZWuji and Killua are going to be looking to base. It's a big question mark because remember, they are at a teleport disadvantage. iBoy was able to find that TP, while ZWuji had to walk back to lane like the madman he is. So he's going to stay in lane. Has to be able to pick up this control, this cannon wave, so he can base.
Yep, Uji going for the heal, just more all-in potential compared to the teleport earlier on. That's how he likes to play his lane. These guys really took it to Suning Gaming, actually winning out the laning phase quite hard in their first match. First time they went on Demacia Cup, everyone was like, okay, SMLZ versus ZWuji. It should be a situation where the more experienced player takes out his replacement on Rogue Warriors. Wasn't the case at all.
Vladimir is doing quite well in the gold department, able to keep up with Jiangqiao. He's not a klepto Jayce, he's trying to pick up the extra abusive power that he has with the Ares. We're just talking about gold. Kongming went back to base with about 1,500 and is very close to being able to pick up his Black Cleaver. He'll come back into the lane with at least some HP to deal with it. iBoy coming in just to be able to trade back on the Killua.
Hasn't been successful. I like Rogue's draft in terms of where they're putting their power. A lot of safe lanes in their top and mid lane. Lanes that can push out and just win the matchup because of the champions being played. And that should allow them to focus mainly on towards their bot side. I really want to see Gragas close out on a deal here.
The junglers have been seen for the most part, but now they've been under a veil. Both junglers unseen. Xuzhu going through the lane to see if he can try and get an access into the bot side of the map. Maybe there's a gank waiting for him. Taunt, just flash not available. But Jiangqiao wants to go for an all-in. Ultimate coming through from Ray. Can he out-survive this one? Looks like that's going to be the case. Crimson rushes out here, but Jiangqiao is just trying to buy for some time until Crimson rushes out. He's in the wrong side of the lane, and he's getting played by the Vladimir. First blood for Ray.
Well, he does miss out on a ton of damage as he goes in early on, and honestly, that was quite perplexing from Jiangqiao. He went in himself, and then he realized, wait a minute, Scout's already coming up for me, so I might as well suicide and deny the assist gold. That's the only reason you could really read the play.
He thought he had the defensive mechanism. I don't know if he had X-Stricken. He was nowhere even close to proccing it, but he certainly had, wow, outplayed, by the way. Scout got out of there quite cleanly. He had the Executioner's Collar. Must have felt like that was good enough to deduct the healing from Ray, but he just got out damaged. That's what it was. ZWuji has to be able to carry this game out because Jiangqiao took the wrong fight. iBoy now, opposite side of the lane, trying to see if they can get this shoved top side of the map and maybe coordinate it with a Jarvan vision control with Meiko. This is the tempo play.
The read here is that Ray probably has enough damage at this point to make ZWuji's life hell. He's 2 levels up. A single rotation of burst damage with Hemo Plague might take the Vayne down. So there's so much pressure there that he can successfully play against the 1v2, and it's going to force a rotation from Rogue Warriors.
I wonder how Jiangqiao is going to get bottom lane. Is he going to have to teleport there? That's the real question. He's going to be losing a wave here. Seems like that's the case. He's not willing to lose teleport advantage to Ray. So this is a huge wave that you get to miss. Not only did Jiangqiao get solo killed in the lane, now loses so much gold bot side.
Yeah, and this is EDG up to their old tricks, just making sure that the bot lane matchup is good, and they also have the tempo lead on the map. This is honestly masterfully played.
Here comes Scout. Boom! That's a lot of damage. Is that going to be it? Yes, it is. ZWuji falls in a blink of an eye, and it seems like they might get a response kill on towards Scout. They do. This shouldn't go any longer, though. Clearlove is on the opposite side, but he should be able to get out quite cleanly. Where did Ray come from, honestly? Go straight onto Xuzhu. Wonderfully played to get a response kill onto Xuzhu.
3-1 in EDG's favor. However, I really like that Rogue Warriors chain CC. They got it on Scout, the body slam into the explosive cast, into Hero's entrance. That was as well as you could have played a CC chain. I really enjoyed that. Yep. However, overall macro play is still definitely going to EDG.
Big worth is what you type in the all chat. You may have lost Scout, but he got the kill to start with, and this was just beautiful to see.
This was just too easy for Scout as well. I like the early flash just to make sure that there was no on the hunt tumbles to go with for the Vayne.
They had a pretty good idea which one of those two was the real LeBlanc, and they net the kill. And while that looked good, Vladimir coming all the way from the bottom lane and make it worthwhile. Now has himself a bounty gold for 50. Might be someone you want to try and pick out in the side lane, but while that's being the case, iBoy is putting on the hurt on ZWuji here.
And just getting so much extra CS and damage on this matchup.
Killua gets hurt by that ultimate.
Tough situation for Rogue Warriors to really work with. Their top and mid should have had a little bit more say in the game. But in fact, it's still only their bot lane that is within reasonable bounds so far, really showing the reliance on that bot lane for Rogue Warriors.
Jiangqiao is going to see the Vladimir, and I don't think he wants any part of that one. Just seeing as the Shock Blast comes through, only throws out the Q. And he's going to be trying to speed up his movement speed a little bit. Scout was in the area, but he wanted to go straight back into the mid lane and get some push first.
Checking out the gold lead, not even the bot lane's doing well. Almost a 2K advantage just for Ezreal on the turret, plating the first brick gold, and also the Kleptomancy being in the kit.
This has been a smooth game from EDG. It's been a slower one, and it's been to Clearlove's pace. Every lane is done well, and Scout has been set up to succeed, so he can just rotate onto sides. So, great game so far, and we're going to roll the dice to see which is the next dragon. Ooh. Infernal. That one's going to be beneficial. You might see both teams end up playing towards bot side soon enough. That's a lot of damage on a Xuzhu, and he gets hit while he's body slamming out.
He's taking all the damage, and Meiko coming in with the assist on the global. The greatest thing that EDG plays, the greatest style that EDG plays is, number one, their globals are always on point. Number two, they always win the bot side. Number three, if you give them an extra start on the objectives, they will set up very well on it. They're a team that plays around their catches a lot more than their 5v5s.
Here we go. Who's going to start with this one? It may not matter because here comes Scout. The flash came through a little bit too early from Jiangqiao, and now he is gone to the Shadow Realm.
And can I just say, this is a completely different EDG than from what we've seen in the early start of the split.
Oh my god, they're going in. Here comes the Gragas ultimate on top of the Galio ultimate. Maybe they can get the kill. Ignite on top of Clearlove. Oh, he's going to get pulled right back in. What are you doing, Xuzhu? Are you seriously giving your life up for this one? It seems to be the case.
Oh, good Zanyas.
You know what? I'll give it to you. But the teleport's coming through. He's still going to go down. And in fact, that's going to be an AD carry battle. ZWuji gets it. No, he doesn't. Still going to be able to go out, but that's the Galio down. Double kill for Vladimir, and the Ignite being popped, still healing up to keep ZWuji alive. Members are starting to pull into this fight. Yep, ZWuji will come out alive. I'm sorry, Jiangqiao. You did so much to keep himself alive. That's how this whole thing started, but this is just EDG coming out ahead in every sense of the matter.
Yeah, and EDG walk away with a 4-for-1, actually. They get Jiangqiao twice in that exchange. I almost forgot that this wasn't the first time Jiangqiao went down. Rather unfortunate for their top laner. This is a pick that you can't really come back from. You can see the early play on the Xuzhu. Almost got Clearlove. If he just finished the deal there, would have saved them a lot of play.
Really wanted this fight. He tried his hardest to get the kill on the Clearlove, and Xuzhu even backed in there. I didn't think that Xuzhu would stay up alive this long, and here you go.
Yep, iBoy also with a risky teleport straight into the enemy comp. That was the situation if Kongming got the Fear Beyond Death. I think iBoy was just dead there. It does manage to turn it around, and this is just unfair from Scout. He's too far ahead at this point, forces Uji out of the fight, and this is the second time that Jiangqiao goes down in this same sequence. How sad is that?
Your death timer is not long enough for you to make the wrong decision. So just you are able to come right back in there. 0-3 and 0. He tried his hand at the carry option, and it's just rough. It's a rough game for him.
Yeah, much more of a Sion and Urgot player from what we've seen of his previous games.
At the same time, this is the best game that we've seen from Ray on a carry. I know his competition was in Jiangqiao, but in terms of how he was able to rotate to the map, be able to help his team on flanks, he has played this one out so well.
Seems like one of the best macro games that we've seen.
Very clean.
Out of this entire split. I can't remember a game where it was basically just one-sided dominance.
And it was slow dominance. Slow. I guess today we came out with like a BLG versus Sino Dragons in game 1, but even that one felt like there was a strong contest from Sino. This one has just been one-sided. Every fight, Rogue Warriors thought that they could take. EDG has seen that one coming.
And they're leaving the open mid wide open as of now.
Yeah, good rotation here from EDG. Going to be able to chunk down that tower. And it's Vladimir walking up too. So a lot of DPS on Kongming.
And this is just great play from EDG. They get one chunk, they move on to another objective. They get a second chunk. There's no way Rogue Warriors can contest at this point. And what Rogue Warriors really need to do is they need to have all members healthy at the same time for a united push back onto EDG. They can't keep on letting this happen. EDG just so good with the early tempo plays.
Strongest champion right now on the map of Rogue Warriors. You can make a case for either Urgot, or in this sense, I would say the Vayne. ZWuji has been playing all right, but he's just been trying to scale up to his Guinsoo's Rage Blade. It's a long pickup, and you would need to be able to get the items for it. Till then, they're getting walked around, and they are 7k gold behind, 19 minutes into the game.
Vayne was recently buffed in the previous patches where your tumble cooldown is actually a lot lower during your final hour.
Oh no, well he might want to make use of that. Doesn't have the time. Oh my god, thank you. Look at the skies above. I appreciate that.
Oh, good play from Killua right there. Takes away the magic trick.
That was instant. Because that was beautifully well played mechanically. Both summoners being used by Scout to get the kill on ZWuji, and it doesn't happen.
I wonder if Uji actually had his heal right there. If he held on to it, that was very amazing.
I wouldn't even trust the replay on that one, because whenever it comes to the summoner spell, sometimes it's just bugged.
That's true, that's true.
Xuzhu keeps getting hit by those ultimates when he's out of range or out of sight. Unlucky. Always going to one place or another, and it's been a pseudo hawk shot that just hurts.
Worst feeling in the world is when you're on a hyper carry that needs to scale and the enemy team has a fed LeBlanc.
That's awful. I don't know which team's ever felt that pain at a Worlds competition.
Let me think about that.
Yeah, well that's a lot of damage coming on the Kongming. That's his heal rotation on his spellbook. Don't worry about that. Going straight back into teleport. He may have to use that too if he goes back to base, so might need that off rotation.
Buying time and trying to get farm on Wuji. Look at everyone on the map has basically cleared out. This is an ISO play for ZWuji against the minions, making sure he gets the most EXP as well as the gold.
Times and clocks are ticking, because to make this play possible, you need to be able to hold that mid lane tower, and I don't think it's going to be happening. Wow. Yeah, get up off the tower. That's going to be EDG with the outer mid lane turret. 3 members on their team have pretty large gold bounties now, so it's going to be pretty tough to hold them back. But if you can get that one team fight, you can make some mad bank.
EDG, they're just playing so clean. This is the EDG, the form that they were in when they dominated the LPL. This is a team that brought, especially for Clearlove, brought China its first 2 international wins in IPL 5 and MSI 2015 as well. So they're very accustomed to success, very accustomed to being on top, and they're showing that form.
And the one difference here has just been that carry in the top lane, because in those situations you had a bottom lane that's been so far ahead in both of those instances, be it Zhao or Deft as your AD carry. And you've had a mid laner that's just been always, you know, a step ahead against the competition. But this time around you get to see a carry top lane. You can make the case that Tahm back in the day was a pretty good rumble or whatever carry top. But this has been the first time in a long time that EDG has found success off a carry top laner.
Yeah, I would like to throw Poro's name in there, but we actually don't know where he is anymore, so.
He's tried in the LDL and he's failed.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
They tried. They were close. They were really close, but there's a lot of good teams down there. You know that from Sino Dragons being as good as they are.
Scout once again trying to find Uji on one of the side lanes. Uji has been picking up a ton of farm. He's been in the side lane for so long, but if you look at the CS score, he's really nowhere close to iBoy. iBoy still sitting at 40 CS in the lead.
Yeah, even the experience advantage is there. One level ahead, iBoy has been. You're going to see how hard it's been in the laning phase for him. Now, one thing I will say is a big benefit, and iBoy is learning on this one. He has the Muramana on the Ezreal. Last time around, accidentally picked up the Seraph's Embrace based off of back timings and a certain bug. So this time around, he's got it all safe. He has the final chapter all out there. Technically, he wasn't nearly as fed as he was back then. So this time around, the Q's hitting and the damage is really hurting on Kongming.
Everyone's paying attention to that. There's so many casters that pointed that out. We saw on the Chinese side, it was, who was it? Godlike.
Oh, yeah.
Also making his own stream just to talk about that issue, how that shouldn't be in the game. And for EDG this time, not making that same mistake, and they're ready to go into close-in phase. Just so much damage, and also the potential to quickly take the Baron down as well. I think they're going to be setting up traps.
Yeah, they may not be a fast team on Baron, but they are certainly threatening them. They've been punishing them for what seems like 20 minutes straight. Hard to deal with, and for how long they've had vision control, there is no wards. I'm checking a look at the Baron pit. I'd love to see if that's the case. And if they can just go up and take out that vision, I don't know if Rogue Warriors would ever even want to get into the blue side jungle. But here comes Rogue Warriors Xuzhu and ZWuji, seeing if they can pick up the Vladimir. Here we go. The last Crimson Rush. That's a lot of damage on Xuzhu. And he eliminates him! He wants this 1v2. Oh my goodness, he's going to be able to get out. He gets the return kill. I think that's double on, but Ezreal gets the kill onto that one. That was beautiful.
Absolute ridiculous play. Ray just had such a level lead at that point. Just sees the Gragas like, okay, you want to take me on? Let's go for a run.
I think he delayed his Crimson Rush. He held on to it. He was channeling his E. It was disgusting how quick the damage came out. 70% of Gragas' HP based off of his E and then his Q. And then he proto belt for the kill. That was beautiful from Ray.
That's what happens when you leave a Vladimir unpunished. Ray, I believe, was at least 3 levels up when that play happened.
We're getting to see a lot of that this week. A lot of huge Vladimir plays. Now he has, let's see, 1, 2, 3 items. Oh, we get to see it again. Look at this.
4-level lead.
Holds on to it. Boom. Eviscerated and a proto belt to end it. Holds on to his Crimson Rush and take it away.
And that just goes straight into Uji as well. They do get the 1,000 shutdown gold. So at least Uji is going to complete his second item at this point.
Yeah, Quincy's Rage Delay picked up. That's what he's been working for. He's been in side lane for how long, trying to get to that 1 item spike. So here we go. 2 items, and he's got his Hex Drinker, which might seem like paper armor to the Vladimir at this point, but he needs anything to be able to push back the double death cap carries in Scout and Ray.
Well, I feel like EDG, their plan was successful in forcing Uji on the Vayne. It's a champion that really can't get away from damage at this point.
He can get away from the first bit of damage, but as long as they stay still and just wait for you to come out of your Q, it's not looking good. And your paper.
Yeah. So Uji's finally made it to the point, but EDG already up 8,000 gold and lucky with the Drakes as well. Double Infernal.
It's funny getting to see the visual image of just the Colonel Sanders' thumbs way up as the graph goes way down. 90% in favor of Additive Gaming.
Most dominant game that we've seen in a while. I'd say the only other game that comes close would be the TOP game against OMG, where they won out on all lanes.
That one was huge.
But this is different. This is not pure mechanical play either. It's a lot of good map movements. It's a lot of good closing down, shutting down the enemy in the side lanes.
Yeah, it's just been constricting. ZWuji can make those outplays. You saw it in the last fight when he was just able to nearly get the kill on the Vladimir. He did it. He got the kill gold. But he's been restricted on side lanes. Scout has been able to just peck at him time and time again, just like this. And it feels bad for a Vayne if you cannot stop the LeBlanc from getting on top of you.
Yeah, then Scout was actually just willing to burn all his summoners, go straight for Baron. That's such a smart play. A lot of mid laners would not see that as an opportunity, but it is a situation where trading your summoners is actually a very, very good deal.
Yeah, redemption coming up. Even the second redemption to see if they get vision on there. 4k HP, they can burn this one up way too quickly. Rogue Warriors will not have to do anything about it. Baron goes over to EDG.
I want to see the damage charts after this game. How much damage has EDG poured onto Rogue Warriors? How much unreturned damage were they able to get just with their map control?
It's a bit of a chase. It's a bit of a race. It's both 3 carries dealing a lot of damage. Ezreal has always been the one to damage, like, spike the charts. LeBlanc has been doing a lot of work on ZWuji, but he has the least amount of HP pool, so he'll probably lose out in that race. And then Ray. Like, Ray has just been huge in these team fights, and so with those 3 major threats, I don't see how Rogue Warriors can really deal with them.
I'm pretty willing to bet by the end of this game, Rogue Warriors will have been out-damaged by like a 3-to-1 ratio. I think that's definitely possible. I think we're going to see the most gold-efficient, the most damage-efficient game coming out from EDG that we've seen in a while.
Now imagine this, to point out the whole damage charts going off Scout has quite a bit of items. Let's take him. Okay. Doesn't hit anybody. That's a triple Infernal Dragon coming up in minute 30 seconds. EDG can pick that one up for their 3 major threats. That 2 of them already have Rabadon's Death Cap. My friend, Rabadon's Death Cap with an Infernal Dragon that spikes your damage just goes wild.
That's 24% extra AP and AD at this point.
I wonder if that double dip with Rabadon's is passive. It's always fun to check on. And it's insane to see. We already saw how much damage ZWuji was taking off one rotation with Scout, and it's going to come up fairly soon.
Honestly, EDG for this one, they're playing for the stats. They're playing for the numbers right here.
Why not style on them? See LeBlanc in the side lane. She's been pushing up. A lot of damage being put down there. That was Ezreal damage every single time he has W, and he even throws in a few just to get the damage on the Killua. 2 people trying to hold down Scout, but they can never pin him down. Clears the wave just like that, and he's back on the turret. Half HP bot, full HP mid.
Xuzhu has to go in at some point. They're just dropping towers at this time.
But that, at this point, is a very squishy Gragas. AP Gragas is losing out in the engage meter. He just has 1 cask in him before they blow his belly to smithereens. So that's 2, I'd say 1 inhibitor. The bottom lane inhibitor is still up, but you can tell that they've already moved their butts to the bottom lane to take that one out. See LeBlanc in the top lane too, trying to do the same thing. You're right, the line has to be drawn somewhere. Crimson Rush is available, so don't throw it then. A lot of damage on what you thought was going to be the tank and Kongming, and he's just being tested.
Half HP already. I really wonder if Rogue Warriors is going to pull the trigger. It's most likely going to be a massacre, but
you got to do it some point. This is the 3rd inhibitor. At least end the game. You can't end up going for an FF, though you would. They're going to base. They have the Baron, and they now have 3 inhibitors taken out.
Man, EDG, they just want to do a little bit of styling. They're on the catwalk now, strutting their stuff, and they're going to get that 3rd Infernal just to pad their damage stats a little bit more. I want to see the one-shots. I feel like Scout's going to have one lined up. ZWuji, you're the primary target.
LeBlanc is always styling. We'd love to see the LeBlanc players be able to do that. It's going to be the 3rd Infernal Dragon picked up. So just in terms of all of Exodia's head, the last thing you need is the Elder Dragon. I don't think they want to go to Elder Dragon. The game's not going to last that long unless if you're right about the whole styling situation. Let's just end the game. It's almost like the Simpsons situation. Where are you teleporting? Okay, to the wave. Excellent. The Simpsons situation of them just being like, just end it already. Please, stop it.
Bro, EDG telling you how to pick apart a team that relies only on their bottom lane.
Who's going to feel that one? Woo! All right, he was walking towards it. Xuzhu was just about to hit that. That would have been disgusting.
All right, here comes Scout.
That's a lot of damage. Killua needs to get out of there before Ezreal follows up. Waves are coming in nearly at the same time. Mid lane waves coming in. They're clearing out the bottom lane. This is a lot of minions coming through. 6 super minion waves hitting at the same time.
Finally, they start the engage.
Here we go. They're able to net down Meiko, but he is the least of their worries. You can see Vladimir just right in the midst of them. That's 3-man ultimate. Who's going to go down? Down goes Galio, and the rest will soon to follow. Kongming goes down. Down goes Jayce. Stop diving the turrets and just take the Nexus. Was an easy game. 30 minutes on the dot. EDG will pick up game 1.
The cleanest game that we've seen EDG play all split long. The effect of Clearlove on this team is beyond chemistry. It's almost magical at this point, how he can pull pieces across the map. And a lot of these plays, they're making them not because they're individually better players, which definitely is the case, but they're making it because of better rotations. The move from the bot lane to the top side got them so much tempo. 2 minion waves on the Vladimir, turret plating as well. And then they just close out on Jiangqiao 2 times in a row in a single play to make sure that Ray is as fed as can possibly be.
Ray was smurfing this game. Take a look at the damage chart, so iBoy still wins it out, but that's a lot of damage across the board that just minimizes what RW has to offer. 5K on Kongming, 5K on Xuzhu. They just didn't have the damage coming through because they felt oppressed by EDG.
And look at Clearlove, how much damage he actually needed to put.
That's
this
hilarious.
is effectiveness with just presence here. He's not even hitting anyone at this point.
He's just looking at them. And it's fair enough, you could do that. You could actually just be an extra moving vision when it comes down to how well Ray was playing. Solo kill top lane onto Jiangqiao was one, and then the engages that he'd had coming in from flanks multiple times in this game, Ray had his best carry performance probably since he's been on EDG. I know there was one game, his first one, way back before he was on C9. There was the one where he was on Riven, and that looked good on Snake when they were going up against Snake. But since then, he's had minutes of brilliance. But this was great from minute 1 to the very end of the game.
Yeah, he held on to the laning phase, wasn't punished enough early, I felt, from Rogue Warriors, which was a bit weird. And then he basically got this freebie from Jiangqiao where he just went like, oh, I missed my damage, and now the Vladimir's in front of me, assassins are coming in, scouts coming in, I need a suicide just to deny the assist gold.
I'm going to be honest, whenever it comes to new teams like that, it's a simple error of not being able to push the game along. Any of those top teams in the LPL would look for a dive topside. You don't even have to bring in the third man. You don't have to bring in Kongming at all. All you have to do is Xuzhu. When you see a building wave, he's had multiple building waves, and Vladimir was able to take it for free. Don't have to see that at all. That was kind of ridiculous coming out of Rogue Warriors jungler. So I thought that Xuzhu had a very poor game. Jiangqiao sure died in a 1v1, but like that was, I think he had been playing the early game well enough, so he was pressuring the Vladimir and put him in prime position for a dive. So unfortunate for Rogue Warriors, but they went up against a very strong EDG.
Yeah, that's the EDG we were all waiting for, and you could see Clearlove's movements on this match is bringing Scout to the strong points into the enemy red side jungle so many times, boxing them out, controlling the waves from there, and doing the correct lane swaps as well. This was the full package of EDG, full spectrum dominance, great macro play, great micro play.
Yep, great full package. I want to see if Rogue Warriors can get a return on that when going to game 2, if they can pull this one into a game 3. We'll find out as we head to a break.